Hello, and we are back with another room. We are so excited. It is me, Amy E. Reichert, Heather Webb, Colleen Oakley, and I can't even Renee Rosen.
You think we'd get better at that?
No, I'm not going to. So I'm so excited. Renee Rosen is a USA Today bestselling author of historical fiction, including Park Avenue Summer, Windy City Blues, her newest, Social Graces, and she lives in Chicago, which is close to me, so I consider her a neighbor. Hey, peeps. And then Colleen Oakley is a very dear friend of mine. We were in the Debutante Ball together, which is a book thing way back in 2015. She is also a USA Today bestseller. She's here to talk about her fourth book, The Invisible Husband of Frick Island. She's a former magazine editor, and just an absolute delight. Not that Renee is not also an absolute delight.
Oh, God.
Renee is not a delight, but Colleen is. But we thought we'd ask her to come on anyway.
So welcome to both of you. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Social Graces is awesome. Yay!
All right. So should we start with the tiny bit of poppy news that we have?
Yes, puppy news.
Poppy news. All right. So we don't have a lot, you guys. It's summer. Things are slowing down, right? But we do have new poppies joining us. And we did mention this last week. But for those of you who are just joining us this week, we're bringing on 5 new, very excellent poppies. And we'll be announcing that. Is that 2 weeks?
Yes.
That's in 2 weeks.
And
So stay tuned. Yes. We can't tell you who yet.
Right. Get
What's
right.
that?
We can't announce names yet.
Yes. No names yet.
We're
Oh,
very, very excited.
2 weeks, Marissa. She wants to know. And then the other news is that we have Kristen Higgins joining us next week, which is very exciting. If you're not familiar with Kristen, she's a huge best-selling romance author and women's fiction author. She actually lives not that far from me. She's lovely and she's wonderful to talk to. And her publisher is hosting a sweepstakes to win her new book. So we'll be posting that link. Do we have it now, Amy?
I do have it in an email, and I think it's just special for us.
Okay, I was going to say, should we post it tonight and next week? We'll see if it works. If it works, we'll post it both weeks. If not, it'll definitely be live next week. So That's it for Poppy News.
Yes.
So we always, you guys know, talk about book recommendations. So what are we reading? Colleen, have you read something recently?
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading so much. So I'm in like my summer mode where I have the stack, that just keeps growing higher and higher. But I dove into The Other Black Girl.
Yeah.
And it is
Amazing.
so good. I mean, I'm basically ignoring everybody in my life just so I can read. It is really, really good.
Amazing. It's
You're at
amazing.
your parents. This is the best place to ignore people.
I know. They're like taking the kids kayaking to the beach. I'm like, I'll just be here with my book.
I've been eyeing that one, and it's getting so much great press. And wasn't it just picked up by someone?
Yes, I think it's
Is it
the Good Morning America?
Good Morning America.
I think, yeah. Deservedly so. Very good book so far.
And we hear from a Facebook user whose name goes unknown. It's exciting to see how many authors I love in one place. We love having you here too, unknown. StreamYard's a little funky. You have to hit certain. Do we know what those are, Amy? I don't remember.
It's partially my fault because we were gabbing so much before the show. I forgot to paste in the text that has I think it has the instructions. You have to give it permission to show your name, but you don't have to show your name. Just comments are lovely too.
Yeah.
Happy Women's Fiction Day. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know. I didn't know either. Is that new?
It's from the Women's Fiction Writers Association. So they host it every year, and then they, there's giveaways and excitement and all that good stuff.
That's
so
awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Renee, what are you reading?
Well, I am in the middle of a move. Can you see all those boxes? Wait a minute, I'm gotta go this way. Can you see all that? Those are books and albums and everything. So I'm actually listening to audiobooks while I'm hauling and unpacking and all that. So 2 books that I have, People We Meet on Vacation, Emily Henry, was such a delight and so much fun. Yep.
Exactly what I'm
is.
listening to right now.
And, it was just such a great break from, I completely underestimated what moving is all about because I haven't moved in like 20 years and I'm never moving again. And now I am listening to the Clover Girls, Viola Shipman, and it's really fun. His women are so heartfelt and they resonate and you get pulled into their lives like immediately. So
tell us, Renee, how many boxes you needed for your books.
Oh, good Lord. Well, okay. So we moved within the same building. We just moved to a bigger unit.
Oh, gosh.
So which is a blessing and a curse because there wasn't a hard stop on getting out.
Right.
And so I've kind of been using some boxes and like bringing them up, and I'm leaving my bookcases down in my unit because they curve. I live in a loft and we have a wooden beam and they curve around it and they look almost like they're built-ins, and they actually would be more of a hindrance up here than they were down there. So I still have like 200 books that are on that bookcase because the realtor said, "Oh, I want to photograph it with all the books." So I don't know. I've lost track. We're getting bookcases in the second bedroom. We're turning that into a study and music room and all that, which will be very cool. But I can't find any of my books. I can't find anything, and to be without your books, it's like I'm lost. So yeah. And I'm a little frazzled, so I'm drinking. So
do it. Listen, I poured red wine just for you tonight, Renee.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I'm also reading, what is it? The People We Vacation?
People We Meet on Vacation.
The People We Meet on Vacation. Sorry, I blanked out on the title by Emily Henry as an audiobook, and it's really fun. And I'm also, and it was a good palate cleanser from the Echo Wife that I read last week, where there's like a murder and these clones, these genetic clones and all this stuff, which was a great read, but it was very different from what I usually read. And then I just got this in the mail. January Slush, which releases in, I think, 2 weeks. And she's going to be on Bloom Room with us. I am so excited to read this book. There's book clubs, there's wine and cheese and friends. And I think there's a little dash of romance too. I'm so all in this book. I can't wait to read it. So
I'm going to need to get that. So I am reading... It's a night galley. So I'm reading Kristen Higgins' Pack Up the Moon, which I keep wanting to say is Unpack the Moon, and that's not right. But I just noticed her cover's really similar to yours, Colleen.
Yes.
Yes, it is actually.
We did a giveaway and had our covers, side by side, and it looked like, it was on purpose. They went together. It was awesome. Her book is incredible, by the way. I got to read it a few months ago, and it is so beautiful. I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed, but it is so well done.
Yeah, I'm not far into it because NetGalley, I just hate reading on my device.
I'm the same.
So I only read a couple chapters a day, but she's just really, there's a reason she's done as well as she's done. She's a fine writer.
Yes. She's amazing.
Very, very much enjoying it. So A+.
So speaking of excellent, very excellent books, ladies, you both have had, Renee, you have a recent release a few weeks ago.
She released
Colleen, yours just released, didn't it, Colleen?
Yes, May 25th, and I have no idea what today is, so I couldn't tell you how long ago that was.
Yeah. Okay, so we're doing pretty well talking about it. So Colleen, tell us about your new book, a little bit about it.
Yeah, so The Invisible Husband of Frick Island is about a widow named Piper who lives with the delusion that her husband is still alive and beside her in this very small little island that she lives on. All of the townspeople and the islanders go along with this delusion. So they wave to him and talk to him and interact with him. And a reporter that is not from the island comes to the island and witnesses this very strange thing happening and decides it's going to be his big break for the story that he wants to do for his podcast. So he investigates and starts unraveling things that maybe the islanders don't want to be unraveled.
Oh.
Yes.
It
It's
sounds
so good.
Thank you.
It's a fascinating premise. It's quite unique. And
All
Marissa
your books
says,
are, though.
congrats
All
on
your
being
books
able
have
to.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colleen is really good at getting those really unique hooks.
That's the fun part for me. If it's like super weird and I have no idea how I'm going to do it, I'm like, oh, that's a book.
That's your signature. That's your signature. You come up with the most amazing concepts, just
Thank you.
So someone binge listened to the Frick audiobook and loved it. So it's lovely to hear.
That's probably my mom. No. Anonymous user.
I'm still, well, maybe it's because I follow you on Instagram, but I do still feel like I'm seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Maybe it's just the 20 stories that you have. That's just
Yeah.
So do you have a little behind the scenes juiciness you can share with us, like something funny or random, or maybe how the idea came to you, whatever? So we want the good details behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, so Frick Island is based on a real island called Smith Island, and I did get to go there, and it is a fascinating place. And I made my mom go with me. She does not like small places. She does not like not being in control, and she does not like being out in the middle of the open water. So this was a great trip for her because we had to take a very small little boat, out in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay.
But was it a good trip for you is the question.
It was a great trip for me because I was without my wonderful 4 children for 2 days. So it was very
I hear that.
relaxing.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a fun research trip. That's one of the great parts, as I'm sure Renee can speak to, of book writing, is all the fun research things you get to do and try while you're writing your book. So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, Renee, she just gave you a very excellent segue. The Social Graces. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. So here's my elevator pitch. The Social Graces is based on the true story of 2 very powerful women, Alva Vanderbilt and Caroline Astor, vying for control of New York society during the Gilded Age. So we're talking about the 1870s to the early 1900s, and it's a time when women had no freedoms, no liberties. They didn't work outside the home. They couldn't vote. They couldn't own property. They didn't have their own money. They were beholden to their husbands or fathers. But the one thing that they had was social currency. That was what they could trade in. And they engineered this thing called society, which had not existed before. And they did it, frankly, I think, because they needed a reason to get up in the morning. Somebody had to plan those 8 and 9 course dinner parties. And, and this was the one arena where a woman could exercise some control. She could plan the menu, the guest list, the decorations, et cetera, et cetera. And the more celebrated the hostess, the more powerful the woman. And no one was more powerful than Caroline Astor. And she was the gatekeeper of society. She determined who was in, who was out. And she even had a list of 400 people and that were on what she considered in society. And Alva Vanderbilt was not on that list. And so this set up a rivalry between the 2
Heck
women.
yeah, it did.
And they are ladies behaving badly. A bookseller said, "Oh my God, they're like the Real Housewives of New York City, but in worse gowns." I'm like, okay, that's my pitch.
yeah, that's fantastic.
That's a great pitch.
So
I just have to add before I get any further, whenever I buy either of your books, my mom steals them from me way before I can read them. So it's nice because I get to read like computer copies of Colleen's now. So my mom doesn't know how to do that. But anytime there's a paperback copy, it is swiped. She's not going to, I'm her library and bookstore. So I'll send you a quarter for royalties. But I just had to tell you that because she is a book thief and you guys are automatic steals.
Oh, that's awesome.
So anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt. So you have to tell us, there's got to be some good stuff when you're researching this.
Yeah, like Colleen said, going on these research trips is just really fun and it brings the story to life. And so there's so very little of the Gilded Age left in, to go. But one place was Newport, Rhode Island. That was the summer place where the upper crust went for anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks in the summer. And they went to their cottages, and their cottages have 50 to 75 rooms. And they're magnificent. And
they're still there, and it's one of my favorite towns in the world. And it's only an hour from me. I love it.
It really is a time capsule of the Gilded Age. And so we got there, and it was the fall, and it was a beautiful fall day. And these cottages are butted up against the ocean. And there's this beautiful walk called Cliff Walk that you can walk. And I wanted to see the backs of the homes because they're magnificent. And we're walking, and I'm so enamored of these cottages that I'm not paying any attention to the warning signs like, uneven pathway, advance at your own risk, 50-foot drops, and I'm not wearing sensible shoes at all because I'm trying to be cute, and get to the first really rugged impasse. And it's literally like cliff on top of cliff on top of cliff.
And you have to climb over the rocks.
Yeah, you got to climb over the rocks. And I make it barely past the first one. And John says, we got to turn back. And I said, are you kidding me? I cannot get past. I can't go back over this. I thought that was the worst. And we would just go on our merry way. But little did I know that was a cakewalk compared to what was ahead of us. John had to literally carry me over some of these things. And at this point, and you're on Cliff Walk and there's no turning off. Okay. You're in it.
It's one way or the other.
Yeah. Yep. So we're at the point of no return. We're losing cell phone power. We're losing light. A bathroom would have been really nice. And so I decided that if I survived, I was going to use this in the book. So if you read The Social Graces, there is a scene where someone is stranded on Cliff Walk, and that was inspired by my own near-death experience. So
that makes me laugh because I have literally walked that 1,000 times.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, but I'm also thinking maybe I haven't gone out far enough in a while because I know exactly where it gets rugged, and then I'm like, meh. And I turn back around.
Maybe you're much more coordinated than I am. I'm like a big klutz, my little heels going cha-cha-cha.
Well, the other thing is you can rent. They're these really cool, they're almost like glorified go-karts that you can rent. And you can take them around the island. Newport is on an island. It's called Aquidneck Island. It's a smallish island, but there's still a pretty sizable town there. But it runs all along the ocean, and you can just take these go-karts around and
now
so,
you call us.
yeah, and so you can do some of the cliff walk, which is gorgeous. But then when it gets kind of crazy, you turn around and you're like, let's go. You either drive or walk the street or get a go-kart or whatever it is. Yeah. So I love that you went there, though. It's so beautiful. And for those of you who've never been, it's cottage. It's a mansion. I mean, it's like this gorgeous, stunning European-style mansion.
So over the top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, this is an argument for me to stop writing books set in Wisconsin. So
yes, absolutely.
In Wisconsin.
Sharon says it's all about the shoes. Amen.
That's true.
Yes,
about the shoes.
It is always about the shoes. So we always like to share a little fun, random thing, a product, something we love, or some kind of food thing, etc., because we're a variety show, right? So. Do you ladies have something you'd like to share with us and the audience that is non-bookish?
Yes.
Renee, you go first because I think yours is very exciting.
Okay, so I found this because I have my priorities when it comes to packing and unpacking. So this baby right here, and you cannot tell based on my hair because I'm still adjusting to like new lighting, new everything, and I can't find my makeup or my contacts and all that stuff. But I found this. This is the most amazing hair dryer ever. If you suffer, ladies, from frizzy hair and you know, unruly, this is what you do. You just dry it and it goes like round and round and round, and it smooths out your hair. You can't tell, do not judge by my own hair right now, but it takes the frizz out, it smooths it. Never leave home without this. So.
Wait,
They
can
should
you put it right up to the camera?
you, Renee. They should be paying you like a percentage.
Yeah, I'm an ambassador for this. I got my sister-in-law one. My sister turned me on to this, and this is like, you know, you got a birthday coming up, you're getting one of these babies.
And what's the name of it again? What's the brand?
You know, I got this one because this was the one my sister said. It honestly has no product name on it.
No, you got to
Yes.
put it right up to the camera for us so we can see
Okay.
what it is. All right.
It's
So
pink.
it's like one of
But
those
I
curl
got my
brushes.
sister-in-law a Revlon one, and she's a very satisfied customer.
Okay.
So
All right.
this one
I
just
feel like
literally
my
has
friend
no
bought a Revlon one, and she talks about it with as much fervor as you just did. So yes,
It's amazing. It's a game changer. But do not judge based on this.
I just can't do things with my hair. It's luck of the draw.
Amy, you gotta try this. It's a game changer.
See, I just go if my hair's a mess, it goes up, and then or I have to get.
Oh yeah, that's
all over.
I think you should try the product live on the next RU.
That's not a bad idea. So, Renee, is your hair naturally curly or?
it's so out of control. It's curly, it's frizzy. John says I look like Rosanna Dana. Like, you know, if there's the slightest bit of humidity in the air, I just so.
All right.
And there's not enough product on the planet to like make it lay straight, but this hair dryer,
That's awesome.
It's a ton.
Life changing.
I would have that so tangled in my hair.
Put it out.
There, you know, you got to move slowly. I take it section by section. I use a little clip and put it up, and
So much, you know, I'm lucky that I guess I realize how lucky I am. I've had straight hair. I mean, in some ways it's not great, but in other ways it means I don't blow dry my hair very often or do.
you're so
I
lucky.
mean, if I want to curl it, then that's a thing, but to just dry it, I just kind of let it hang.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle, you know.
Yeah.
And you got the texturized hair.
So, Colleen, do you have something you want to share with us?
I do. Mine is book related, so I am flouting the rules, but I am a rebel like that.
No, we like that. It's all good. We like everything.
So Frick Island, like I said, is based on Smith Island, and there is a cake. And who doesn't like cake? So there's a cake. Oh, we have
Oh my God.
So that is the Smith Island cake, or in my book, known as the Frick Island cake, which is about 10 to 12 layers of cake and chocolate frosting deliciousness. And you can buy this cake and have it shipped to you at smithislandcake.com. Now, if you're an ambitious baker like Amy, you can also bake the cake. You just need about 10 pans to bake all the layers of the cake. You can borrow them from your neighbors.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Amy has like 70 cake pans in her cabinet.
I'm impressed with how fast you whipped up that photo. How did that happen?
That was very impressive.
What happened, Amy?
I needed a picture of the cake.
Oh yeah, I love it. That was brilliant.
I was recently, Colleen, was it you who we did? I don't know. Someone I was doing an event with, they kept finding pictures. Yes,
yes, that was me for Bethany Beach Books. They did a great job. Yes.
They did a great job. They were finding pictures during the thing. I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I had to try it. So that's
So you busted it out. I'm impressed.
Well, I'll send you the recipe link as well, Amy, and you can post that for any of the ambitious bakers.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Anyone who wants to buy 10 pans to make the cake, you're
I'm just going to order one.
Yeah, me too.
You do 2 layers.
Wow, she made the cake.
Baking. You can get like 3 chapters in while each cake is baking. Get the
That's right.
yeah, there you go.
chapters. It all works out.
And we have someone who's made the cake. We have an author, Donna Everhart, made the cake and was excited to make. Look at that, Colleen.
That's incredible. So, I mean, people who have made it have assured me that it is just time intensive as far as like the cake and all the pans, but that it's quite an easy recipe. I will never know because I do not bake, but I trust their assessment of it.
So are you saying you don't bake anything? Like you have to bake.
I mean, I will if forced. If my kids are like, we have to bake cookies, I will do it. I prefer a box mix, but I will do it.
I wish I lived close. I would bake.
I do too. Every time you bake something, I'm like, I wish you were my neighbor.
Yeah.
I like eating it.
I love to bake, but I don't have a job where I can like dump it. So I could have just dumped it at the Colleen house.
Yes. So the anonymous user, who may or may not be my mom, said that I should have Sorella.
Oh, wait.
For me, and Sorella's my daughter, and
Yes.
she does love to bake, and she does bake quite often. So that works out for me too, because I get to eat it. So it's all good.
And then Susan Peterson, one of our tall poppy tried and true, says she'll make it for you.
I want
Susan, don't make promises you can't follow through on, because I will drive to Texas to eat that cake.
we're doing an event in Texas.
That's right.
I'm in.
All right, ladies. So we are at time here.
Oh yeah,
That was
that went quick.
lickety split.
So fast.
So thank you for joining us on the Bloom Room. And you guys, everyone who's watching, we will be putting links to their books, to the Smith Island Cake
Yes.
Shop, and also to perhaps maybe the Revlon version, since your mom, I think,
That's
like to
one
do
name
something.
we know.
Renee?
Well, my
Just so people
sister-in-law swears by it.
Sister-in-law, yeah. Yeah, let's do it. And we'll put that in the links, and we'll see you guys next week with Kristen Higgins.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
So fun.